Hey everyone, it's Megan from Bookish Delights. Today's video is my September wrap-up. I read a total of 11 books in September, but I finished a book that I started at the end of September on October the 1st. So I'm going to count it as 12 books, and I'm kind of hitting a little slump at the start of October right now. I have one book read and I'm starting another book, and I'm hoping it only lasts for a short time because usually my slumps hit at the end of the month and I don't read a lot during the end of the month. But because ContemporaryAthon round 5 was happening at the end of the month, I really tried to get some more books read during that, and it really pushed my slump to the beginning of October. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with the book that I read for ContemporaryAthon. I read Invisible Ghosts by Robin Schneider. This only hit like 3 of the prompts. I think there was like 7 in total maybe, and this only hit 3 of them, and this is the only book I read, which is okay because like I said, I read a total of 12 books in September, so that's pretty dang good. This is about the main character. Her brother had died in an accident, or no, he was allergic to bees. So he got stung by a bee and he died from it because he didn't have his EpiPen, which you should always carry your EpiPen if you're going out somewhere. So, and she's able to see his ghost and communicate with him, and then an old friend of hers moved back into the town, and it kind of follows along their journey of picking up their friendship and trying to figure out why she can see her brother and what's going on with that. So it was a nice little read. I think I gave it 4 stars, if I believe. Now moving on to the second book that I was going to read for ContemporaryAthon, but I didn't get a chance to finish it, and that was The Flat Share by, I think it's Beth someone. I could be wrong. I will pop the book up on screen like always, and I think that's the book that I finished on like October the 1st, so I'm counting it. I gave that 5 stars, I want to believe, and it's really cute. It follows along 2 people who share a flat or an apartment, if you call it that. I call it apartments, but it's based in the UK, so they call it flats over there. It's the same thing. They kind of share the flat. When the guy works night shifts, so he's not there during the time that the roommate is there, and it's vice versa. So they're never there together, and they don't meet up with each other or see each other until later on in the story, and they've already been living together for several months, and it was really cute and I really liked it, and I think you guys should read it as well. Moving on to another physical book, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses, or ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in this, I think it's a trilogy, and it's really good. It's loosely based off of Beauty and the Beast, so it is a retelling, but I really liked it. It took a little while for me to get into it, but once I got into the middle of it, I could not put it down, especially the last roughly 100 pages. Like the last portion of this book was really intriguing, and I just couldn't put the book down, and I do believe I rated it 5 stars. It is on my favorites shelf now. I've recently reorganized my shelves, if you haven't noticed, which I actually have to reorganize them again because I bought another shelf, and it's where I put my favorites books on. That shelf is only like a little small single shelf, and I had to take some books off here, so now I have plenty of room on here for my collection to grow, and this has quickly become a favorite of mine. I can't wait to continue this series. The next book I read was The Honeymooners, and of course, like always, I will just pop up the book cover on screen. The rest of these are audiobooks. I did have another book that was physical, but I borrowed it, and that's gone back to my friend, so I'll just pop the cover up on screen. Anyways, I read The Honeymooners, and it was kind of cute. I really liked it. I think I rated like 4.5 stars, maybe 5. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the descriptions of all these books because there's quite a few, and I don't want this video to be too long, and you guys know me, I really like to go off on tangents and ramble a little bit. So moving on, we have These Witches Don't Burn. Yeah, These Witches Don't Burn. Again, I don't have any of the authors' names unless it's like pretty obvious and I know them already, but I'm just bad at remembering names. That was a really nice witchy book. I quite enjoyed it. It was really cute, and I think this one I rated 3.5. It could have been better, but it was still a really good read, and I would recommend it to anyone. Next we have If There Be Thorns by V.C. Andrews. I believe this is the 3rd book in the Dollenganger series, and the first book is Flowers in the Attic. That one might be a little more known to people. It's the first book, Flowers in the Attic. It's also a movie, and I can't remember if this one is also a movie, but I will have to check and see, and if it is, I will watch it. In the original book, the first book, Flowers in the Attic, it followed along Kathy and Christopher, and I think it was mainly those two people, or mainly Kathy. But in this book, If There Be Thorns, it followed along her 2 children. It was dual perspective, and it was really nice, and it involved more family secrets and twists, and you guys should check out the series. Next 2 books is Harry Potter and I almost said Prisoner of Azkaban. That is not what I read. I read the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows in September. So those 2 books finishes off the series. I'm not sure if I want to continue with the like spin-offs of this series, which is the Fantastic Beasts and those other books. I kind of want to collect the illustrated editions because those look pretty cool, and I really liked Harry Potter series. This is the first time I ever read this series fully. I've read the first book a couple of times and just never really gotten into reading the rest of it because I didn't have Libby at my disposal to listen to the audiobooks, and I don't have the physical books, and I just never got around to buying them. But I'm glad I finally sat down and read or listened to the books because I love them. I will say that I prefer the later books in the series and not the first couple, but if I haven't said, it's by J.K. Rowling, but I'm sure most of you would know that. I think my favorite book out of that series would have to be either Prisoner of Azkaban or Goblet of Fire. Those 2 books I really liked. Moving on, we have a little cozy mystery, and it's Cappuccinos, Cupcakes, and a Corpse. And this was a quick little read for me. The audiobook I think was only like 2 to 3 hours long, so roughly like a little over 100 pages, maybe even 200 pages. It was really nice. It was cute. I love cozy mysteries. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine, I guess you can say. Like, I don't read a lot of them, but when I do, it's kind of one of those books that I will pick up on Scribd and just really, it's kind of like my in-between books. Like, if I don't know what I want to actually dive into, then I'll just pick up like a little cozy mystery because they're pretty easy to read. So they're kind of like the in-between books type thing that I read. Next we have The Witch's Guide to Self-Care, and this is kind of like a self-help book type thing. I thought it was going to be like a fantasy book. I didn't think it was going to be, I didn't read too much about it. I just know other people read it that I know and liked it, and I thought it was just like a cute little witchy fantasy title, but it is more along the lines of self-help and self-care, and just about different ways to care for yourself mentally and physically, talking about different crystals and stones that can help, and different like breathing techniques. So it is a really nice read if you would like to get into that stuff. Next we have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. This is the first time that I actually read this book. I think I started to read it when I was younger, but I just never really stuck with it. But I finally stuck it out and picked it up and read it. I listened to the audio book of it. I think it was on Scribd that I listened to it, and it was really nice. It was really nostalgic because I watched the movie when I was younger and I really liked the movie. So as I was reading it, I was remembering how the movie done it all, and I was just picturing it all in my head, and now I kind of want to go and watch that movie. And then the last book that I read for this month was Protecting Kira. Like 100 pages, 100 or so pages. Again, as this is another one of my like guilty pleasure reads where I'm not quite sure what book I want to pick up next, and I just want to like cleanse the palette, or like a little refresher, and I pick up one of these. It is like a contemporary romance read. It's very nice. I think it's more on the adult side, so if you're into that, then check that out on Scribd. It was kind of cute. It also dealt with mute and deaf characters. It was split between two perspectives, the male and the female, and the male was a previous Navy SEAL. He was the Navy SEAL, and he got injured on duty and lost, I think it was 100% in one ear and so much percentage in the other ear, and he was learning sign language because he couldn't really hear anything. He was deaf. And the other main character, I can't remember their names. Kira is the female, but I can't remember the male. But she is a teacher in, I think it's like an elementary, a younger grade school, but it's a school for the deaf, and she was teaching sign language. So she was teaching ASL, and that's how they really connected. She was helping him with it, and their romance sparked, and there was a little bit of a twist in there that I wasn't really expecting all that much, and it was really good. I liked it. Again, another one of those like guilty pleasure books of mine that you can find on Scribd, and it was like a short little read, about 100 or so pages. And those are all the books that I read, and that was my first attempt at a ContemporaryAthon, and I think I will attempt to do more readathons. Hopefully I will have better success. But like I said, readathons are more about fun and encouraging to read more, and that's what I did. I had fun, I loved it. So that is all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon below to get notified for whenever I upload a new video. If you have any video suggestions or any comments, leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you next time.